it's a lot of good players out there. So, what do you need to play a game of poker? You need one of these, the deck of cards. You can need one deck of cards. Common question, believe it or not, if you play poker board, there is just one deck in Texas Hold'em poker. You need a button. It's called a dealer button. Now, this is a very fancy, nice, expensive dealer button. We use these for our poker masterclasses in offices and for corporate events and private events. You can just use anything. It's just got to be something that signifies the fact that this player here in seat 1, hope you can see that, he's in seat 1. This player is the dealer. Even though I'm going to be dealing the cards, he is the dealer. He's on the dealer button. Okay, he is in the last position to act. And when we say act, we mean decide whether it's to bet, check, raise, fold, whatever it might be. So you need a button. You need chips. Here's some nice chips that we've got. We use these as well for our events. 100s in the teal, very nice colour, and we've got the 25s in black and orange. So in this scenario, I'll just pull this down for you, so you can see. You should be able to see player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, and player 5. We've got a 5-player table here, okay? No people, obviously, because we're in lockdown. So you've got your chips, you've got your button, you've got your cards, and you've got a dealer. What a great night. So when you start a game of poker, let's go back and say hello. Hi. When you start a game of poker, you need to give everyone the same amount of chips to start with. This stack here of 25s and 100s, this is 2,500 chips. Every other player at the table's got 2,500 chips. This doesn't mean you're playing for £2,500. This is just a number. It's like n equals. It doesn't signify the amount in the chips. Doesn't signify the amount of money. So you can give yourself each 2,500 chips, and then you'll put in your £20 each or £10 each, or you can play for free. You can play for lots more. It's up to you. So you'll put in your money, and you'll get the same amount of chips to start with, and then we start to deal the game. How do we deal the game of poker? So let's not forget. I think we did an Instagram live video about this is Texas Hold'em, no limit Texas Hold'em we're playing. So the way this game is dealt is not the same as every other player in poker. We're not dealing draw or stud. We're not dealing Omaha. We're not dealing Irish. This is Texas Hold'em, no limit. This is the game that is most popular. It's the game that if you walked into a poker room in a casino, is the game that would be on offer before anything else. Even in Vegas, where they play everything, every variant of poker. So this is Texas Hold'em, no limit. In seat 1, we're going to put the button in seat 1. So the dealer, for the sake of the game, is in seat 1. Even though I deal the cards, they say he is the dealer. So let's bring this down now. Seat 2. Seat 2 is to the left of the button. So here's the button, here's the next player to the left. When you're starting a game of poker, if you just dealt all the cards out and people put money in arbitrarily and not in order, the game would fall on its arse, really, because there would be no rules in place. So we have rules, and rules means rules. So rules of the game, the left of the button has to post what's called a small blind. It's a very weird term. So let's just say hello to you again. A small blind. Why is it called a blind? Okay, the reason this is called a blind is because you are putting it into the pot involuntarily blind. You have not seen your cards. That's what blind means. You haven't seen your cards. So you have to put this player, seat number 2, left of the button, puts a small blind in. Why is it called small? It's called small because the player to his left, which is second left of seat 1, which is seat 3, is putting in a big blind, which is double the small blind. I hope you've all got that. This is what confuses so many people. They kind of get to this point and they're like, just game's rubbish. Don't like it already. It's too complicated. Once you've got past this point and understand what blinds are, you're going to start to really get yourself fully immersed in this game. They are just forced bets to generate action. And when I say action, it's like to generate betting. Because if people weren't made to put money into the pot blind without seeing their cards, people would only put money into the pot if they had good cards, right? So this forces the player in seat 2, the small blind, and the player in seat 3, the big blind. It forces them to maybe take part in what happens in the hand. Where if they didn't put these in, they can just keep not putting any money into the pot and just keep folding their cards until they have a good hand. This game would be very boring without blinds. They are essential. So the small blind is the smallest amount they can put in without seeing their cards, and it's a forced bet to generate action. And the big blind is the same, but it's just twice as much. So here we are. We've got a button on seat 1. We've got a small blind in seat 2, 25, and we've got a big blind in seat 3, 50. This money is in the pot from seats 2 and 3, and it stays in the pot for the rest of this hand. They can't take it back, okay? If you are in the blinds, you do not get an option to take your money back. All you can do is add more money, or call, or check, or whatever the case may be, to try and fight for your right to retain that money or make more money, okay? So now, hopefully, that clarifies what blinds are. Has anyone got questions on blinds? Probably worth putting them up right now. I think we're good. We'll crack on. Okay. No one's got cards yet. Oh, what happens in casinos when there's a fixed dealer croupier? Does everyone put in a small blind? That is a perfect question. Thank you. So, in a casino, you will always have a dealer. Here I am, your casino dealer. People only post blinds in turn. The blind, here's the key to your question, to your answer. The answer to your question. The blinds follow the button. The button doesn't follow the blinds. So anytime, wherever the button is, let's put the button in seat 3. Now the blinds are in 4 and 5, small and then big. Okay. So wherever the button is, the blinds follow. So left and second left. And wherever that button is, I'm still always going to be dealing. The casino dealer will always be dealing. When the dealer button is in front of you, that's probably what you're drawing to here. When the button is in front of you, you don't have to touch the cards and deal the cards. You don't have to shuffle the deck and deal with people. That's in a casino, you can just rely on the dealer and they will do that for you. But like every round, you will get the dealer button in front of you. It's just significant of you being in a dealer position. It's not significant of you having to deal the cards. Hopefully, that adds some clarity. So all the players don't put in a small blind. You only put your blinds in turn following the dealer button. So whenever the button is to your right, because you're to the left of it, you've got to put in a small blind. And then second left, a big blind. Let's deal a hand and move on from blinds. Here we go. Seat 1's the button. Small blind in seat 2 with 25. The big blind with 50 in seat 3. These chips are worth 25 each, okay? The cards get dealt like this. So this is very important when doing a home game. The first card you deal goes to the person in the small blind, okay? You deal to the person in the small blind first and you give them 1. Then you give 1 card to the big blind. These cards are all dealt out face down. Then to the person to the left of the big blind, seat 4, seat 5, seat 1. Everyone's got 1 card now. Now everyone needs another card because in this game of Texas Hold'em, you all get 2 cards face down. Second card for everyone. Right, that is the first stage of this game. Everyone's been dealt their cards face down. They cannot show them to anyone else. They can look at them now. They're allowed to look at them because it's their cards. And they also cannot look at someone else's hand. So I'll give you a moment to think about that. They're your cards. You can look at them. No one else can look at them, and you can't show your cards to anyone else. Now, when we talked about hand rankings last week, we kind of covered what are good hands to start with and what are bad hands, okay? For the sake of this hand, I'm going to show you it played out. We're going to play it out face up, okay? Ordinarily, these cards would always remain face down, but I want to play out a hand for you face up so you can see how this game plays out. And we can do some exercises on the hand rankings that we learned last week, recognizing what hand is what and who's got what. Okay. So, everyone's got their cards. There's a small blind and a big blind in the middle. Player in seat 4 is the first player who has to act. It always goes clockwise, this game. This game goes clockwise, and this is the next player to go because the big blind is in seat 3. Seat 4 is the first player who has to do something. He'll turn his hand over for the sake of demonstrating a hand. This would not happen normally during the course of a hand. He has a 7 and a 2. Right, there's a prize for anyone who can tell me what they should do with this hand. This player has 3 options. He can either fold, which means throw his hand into the muck and not play it. He can call. Call would be putting in the extra 50, putting in the 50, the big blind, matching it. Or he can raise, which would mean putting in more than the big blind. Okay? So he's got these 3 options. Now, because we learned last week that 2 cards disconnected and not suited don't work together, we know that this is a bad hand. So we put bad hands, we fold them. Don't forget that. Even the pros don't remember. This is a bad hand. Throw it away. Put it in the muck. It's not cool to play it. Next. So seat 4 is folded. He throws his cards towards the dealer. It goes in what's called the muck. These cards are discarded. They play no part in the hand anymore. Now we go to seat 5. Again, remember, he would never turn his cards over. He's not allowed to, but we're just doing this for a demonstration. He has a jack and a 9 of hearts. Okay, so you've got here, that's a jack and a 9 of hearts. As we spoke about last week, this is a hand that works well together. The jack and the 9 can make a straight. So a queen, a 10 and an 8 would give you a straight. It's also got 2 hearts. So you could make a flush with this hand. You need 3 more hearts to make a flush, to make a 5-card flush. Okay. You could also make a straight flush. Queen of hearts, jack of hearts, 10 of hearts, 9 of hearts, 8 of hearts. That'd be a straight flush. This is a nice hand to play. So seat 5 is going to call. How does he call? How does he see? Why is he calling? The big blind is 50. He has to put in at least 50 to call, okay, to stay in the hand. If he wanted to, he can raise, but because this hand isn't made yet, he hasn't got aces, he hasn't got kings, he's just got a hand that could become good later, he probably just wants to call. And calling is matching the bet that you're facing. The bet he's facing is 50, which is the big blind. Okay, so that's seat 5, he's in the hand now. Let's go to seat 1. So seat 2, small blind. Seat 3, big blind. Player 4 has folded. Player 5 has called. Seat 1. What's he got? He's got a king and a queen of clubs. This is also similarly quite a good hand. It's very similar to the jack 9 of hearts, okay? It's a drawing hand. It's a hand that could make a very big hand. He can make a pair of kings. He can make a pair of queens. He can make a flush. He can make a straight. This hand is really good. So this player is going to call. For the sake of demonstration, is going to call. Now, any one of you who's played this before, you might say this player should raise. That's all about position on the table, and we'll cover that next week. Position, for those of you who are complete beginners, means where you are in relation to the blinds. Okay? The player on the button, the dealer button, has the best position on the table. So when you have a hand like this on the button, you should probably be raising with it. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to show you him calling, or her calling. Comes to the small blind. So let's go back down to the table. So let's clarify again. Seat 2 is in the small blind. He's got 25 in the middle. The big blind is 50 from seat 3. Player 4 has folded. Player 5 has called. Let's put 50 in. Player 1 has also called with King Queen. Comes round to player 2. He's in the small blind. He has 25 in the middle already. But the amount of the bet he is facing is 50. Okay? Player 3's got 50 in. Player 5's got 50 in. And player 1's got 50 in. Player 2 only has 25 in. If he wants to play, or she wants to play his hand, they need to put in another 25. Or they can raise, or if they don't want to play their hand, they can fold. Now let's look at their hand. He's got 10 and a 2. So again, no prizes for guessing what this person should do. Some people will argue about pot odds, but we won't go into that. But so this is for beginners. This hand, you can't make a good hand with this hand. You have a 10 and a 2. You cannot make a straight. You can't make a flush. You technically could, but it'd be a bad one, by the way. You're going to make a bad pair or a really bad pair. This hand goes into the bin. So you fold. Okay, so you say to the dealer, I want to fold. You just say fold. Or if you want to fold, you can throw them to the dealer, but keep them face down, like this. Or you can just say to the dealer, fold, and he'll take them off you, but just push them towards him, okay? Or her. Him or her. You're going to have to go over that all the time. So we are, player 2's out. He or she is folded. I'm just going to say that everyone at this table is male tonight. Just make things a little bit easier. Player 3 is in the big blind. So what are his or her options? What are his options? This is the hand he has. Let's have a look. Aces. Player 3 has 2 aces. They are both the same rank of cards, and they are the highest rank available. This is the best pair you can start with, okay? So, yeah. So, aces. Player 3, even though he's already put in 50, and these 2 players have got 50 in, it is advisable that this player should be raising with their hand because it is the best hand available to start with. This is the first round of betting, remember. There's more rounds of betting in this game, but this is only the first round. In a game of poker, you are trying to get your money into the middle when you are winning. This player is indisputably winning at the moment. The only hand he can be up against would be another pair of aces, the only other 2 aces available, which is very unlikely. And even if that went to war all the way down to the end, it's going to be a draw, be a split pot. So whilst you have the best hand, you should be putting money into the middle. So for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to play out like it would. The player of aces says, I raise. And he puts in another 200. So now the bet is 250. 1, 2, 25, 50. Comes player 4 is not in the hand anymore. They folded, okay? Player 5 comes to this player. What are the options for player 5? He can call the 250. He can fold because he doesn't want to play anymore. Or he can raise. Because player 5 has a jack and a 9 of hearts, a drawing hand that can make a good hand later, he's probably, or she just probably wants to call. So we'll display this as a call, 250, called. And the same is going to go for the player with King Queen here. King Queen of clubs decides to call. So everyone has had a chance to act, okay? The small blind had a chance to act. They folded their hand, 10-2. The big blind had aces. They had a chance to act. They raised to 250. Player 4 had 7-2, decided to fold. Player with Jack 9 in seat 5 has had a chance to act twice because he called and then he called the raise, and the same with the player in seat 1. Everyone's had their turn to act. This round of betting is now complete and finished. This round of betting is called pre-flop betting. Why is it called that? It's a ridiculous name. It is because the 3 cards that I'm about to deal out are called the flop. The flop are the 3 community cards that these 3 players will now use to make their 7-card hand. So I'll say that again. The flop is the first 3 community cards available for the players with cards to make their best 7-card poker hand. All the bets are brought into the middle. This is our pre-flop pot. Okay, this is the amount of chips committed by all the players into the pot. 250 from this player, 250 from this player, 250 from player 5, and then the 25 that the small blind in seat 2 gave up because they had 10-2 and they didn't want to play their hand. This all stays in. We deal the cards. The dealer will always do this first. Tapping the table is to display to the players I'm about to deal a card. It warns the players that if they feel like they missed something or that they haven't had a chance to act, that now is the time to do so. I think that's really important for those of you who are going to play for real money in a casino. Watch out for the dealer tapping the table. If they're tapping the table like this or like this, it means they're about to deal. If you feel like you haven't had a chance to act, or you've been forgotten in the hand, or somehow you've still got your cards, or there's something wrong, you need to alert them now. So the dealer taps the table. They deal a burn card, okay? It's a discarded card. It's not used in the hand. It's already put underneath the chips, actually. So we're going to put that there. That is the burn card. It's burn. It's discarded. It's not used in the hand. We deal the flop. The 3 community cards to make the hands. Right, so here we go. The first player to act in this hand is the left of the button. Remember, before we dealt what we call pre-flop, it was a player in seat 2 who went first. Now we're on the flop. So it's a player in seat 3. Because the player in seat 3 is the first person to the left of the button who's in the hand. So the first player to the left of the button who's in the hand, who's got cards, is the first player to act. This player has aces. The board is King 10-5. His best hand at the moment is a pair of aces. His best hand before this came out was a pair of aces. His hand has not got worse, it's not got better, he's still got a pair of aces. He's going to bet his hand. In the pot, there is 775 in chips. It is pretty usual for players to bet anything between 200 to 500 into this pot if they bet. So we're going to put this player's going to bet 350. Who's the next player to act? It's the player in seat 5. So the player in seat 5 has got Jack 9 of hearts. Okay? And the board has 2 hearts on it, a King of hearts and a 10 of hearts. This player has an opportunity to make a straight, because if a queen is the next card, he has King, Queen, Jack, 10, 9, making a straight. If it comes a heart, he makes a flush. A flush is 5 cards of the same suit, and they don't need to be in order. If it's the Queen of hearts, he makes a straight flush. King of hearts, Queen of hearts, Jack of hearts, 10 of hearts, 9 of hearts. This player has an extremely good hand. He is drawing to a really very good hand that aces won't beat. In this example, he is definitely going to call. Call, so puts the 350 in. Come around to our player in seat 1 here. Bear in mind he does not know what this player in seat 3 has and what the player in seat 5 has. it is safe for you to assume with King Queen on a board of King 10-5 that you are winning. So the assumption is you're winning here. This player is going to call as well. They could well raise, but just for the sake of demonstrating the hand, we're going to put a call in. Puts 350 in the middle. This round of betting is now complete. Why? Because every player's had a chance to act. The player in seat 3 has made their bet at 350. The player in seat 5 has made the call for 350, and the player in seat 1 has called for 350. This round of betting, the flop betting, the second round of betting is complete. All the chips get brought into the middle again. Now this pot, you can see how this game gets expensive. Now you'd be very good if you knew how much was in here. Even I can't think that, of course it is. But okay, so there's 1825 in the middle. 1,825 in the middle. Remember, everyone started off with 2,500. This is a big amount of chips, right? This is a big pot. So, back down. Procedurally, what happens next? We've got our pot in the middle here. We've got our flop. Players got their cards. Dealer taps the table again. We're ready for a third round of betting. Burn a card, discard, as we did before. Turn. This card, this fourth card, so we deal 3 out at once, then we deal a fourth called turn, and it's just 1 card. So we have another round of betting based on this other card. Yeah, it's called the turn. So this is our third round of betting. Who acts first? It's a player to the left of the button. So it's always a player to the left of the button who acts first. We have aces. This board has not changed. King 10-5, he had 1 pair. He's now got 2 pair, but we can kind of consider these redundant. He's only in danger against someone who's also got a 5, okay? Who has a 5. Safe to assume you're winning here. Another bet, let's say 600. This player here still has a draw to a flush or a straight flush. Never folding, call. So match the bet. The player here with the king and the queen, no reason he should think he's losing. He can put his money in as well. Now, there's 2,600 in the middle. That's more than anyone started with, because every player started with 2,500. You can see how this game gets expensive. It's important to consider every time you put money into the middle. It's very important to consider, what have I got? What's he got? What does he think I've got? What has she got? What have she got? What does she think I've got? So you can see how this game gets expensive. So you need to be careful. I don't want to put you off, but you need to play wisely and selectively. Now, we're going to deal a selection of river cards. There's another round of betting, and this is called the river. Okay, so I'll show you the procedure for it. Discard, that's a burn, so that one's not used. River card. Now, this is all about identifying who's got the best hand. So there would be another round of betting here, and then the cards get displayed. We know how the betting works now. Now let's just work through hand rankings for a little bit. So we've got our king, queen here against aces, against jack 9. The best hand here is jack 9. So there are 5 community cards. Each player has their own 2. They are making the best 7-card hand. King, queen, jack, 10, 9. That is the best 5-card hand available. This player has a straight king, queen, jack, 10, 9. This player here, their hand is 2 pair, kings and queens with a 10. The 5s don't play. But for the player with aces, they have aces and 5s with a king. Who comes second? Very interesting question. Aces are a better pair than kings. Aces and 5s are a better pair than kings and queens. So player 3 comes second, but there's no money for second, unfortunately. So all the money with this card here, we go to the player with jack 9. Okay, so you get all these chips. right? So you can see how having aces, you're winning from one round of betting, the pre-flop betting, you're winning for the flop betting, you're winning for the turn betting, and then suddenly your life gets ruined on the river, and you've lost everything. And this poor player with King Queen, everyone's thinking they're winning at every stage, and they're being miles behind the whole way. Let's have a look at some other possibilities. Who wins this hand? If you know, let us know. Okay, the winner of this hand is player 1. I'm going to put these here just to help display. Just call them. Player 1 has King Queen. Player 1 has a full house. 3 kings and 2 fives. Using this king here, yeah? King, 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 5, 5. Kings for the 5s. Full house. Player 3 has aces and kings with a 10, making 2 pair. And the player with Jack 9 has 2 pair as well. Kings and 5s with a Jack. I hope that makes sense. Well, a winner is the player in suit 1. Who's the winner in this situation? Aces. Aces and 5s with a king. Player 1 has kings and 5s. Player 5 has 9s and 5s. Aces and 5s win. Let's run a few more. It's a heart. Player 5 wins. Player 5 has made a flush. 5 cards of the same suit. Who wins here? Aces again. Aces and 5s with a king. It's the best hand available. Queen of hearts. Best hand available here is this player. Straight flush. King, queen, jack, 10, 9. 5 cards, all the same suit, in rank order. Now, aces full of 5s made a full house here. If we ran this deck out, by the way, just kept on running cards, the rest of the deck available, I'm not absolutely positive on that, but aces would be a favourite. There would be 35% chance of this hand winning, and this one's dead unless it comes a king. There's only 2 cards that this player can win with. It has to be the last 2 kings available, okay? Because with a king, they make a full house, which we had earlier. So if one of the 2 kings left available, here we go. This is the only way this player can win. It has to be a king or the other king. Okay? So this player's like less than 1% to win. I hope this helps in some way. If you've got any questions, now it's time to ask. That is how you play a hand of poker. Now, obviously there's a hell of a lot to take in there. The other thing to take in is that, let's just display it. That hand is done, okay? That is not the end of this game. These chips go to the player who won. Here, all the chips go there to player 4. Oh, 5 was it? Put these back. And now we do another hand. Button moves to C2. The small blind is posted by C3. The big blind is posted by C4. The same blinds as we had before, 25 and 50, and we do the same thing again. So